Hi, my name's Andy Freeman and this is this week's Shhh. We're looking at the theme of wonder and we're going to spend 15 minutes just giving you some space to reflect, to meditate, to take time, to take some space to breathe. So to begin, just get yourself comfortable wherever you're sitting, whatever you're doing. You've got 15 minutes here just to put everything else to one side and take some time. So be aware of your body and just stretch yourself out. Loosen up any stiffness, any knots, any tension. Be aware of where you're holding stress, tenseness, and try and relax it where you can. And as you're doing that, just scan down from your head all the way down your body and be aware of anything you're holding this morning. How do you feel? What's around physically? What's around emotionally? Just do a scan of yourself, and you don't need to do anything with that right now, but just be aware of it, and where you can, loosen it out. If you're feeling a little bit anxious, stressed, just try and settle. If you're aware of happiness and joy, enjoy that, hold that. And just take a moment at the beginning of this meditation just to allow yourself to be you. Be happy of you where you are right now in this moment. It's today, it's Wednesday, I'm here. All that's past is past. And I have today in front of me. So we'll just take a moment to take a deep breath, to be aware of ourselves. The beginning of this meditation. Wonder's an amazing topic to think about. A space to breathe. We think that wonder or beauty, a sense of the other, is one of the three parts of our well-being triangle that help us understand how to flourish, how to be fully ourselves. And I think the reason is it's so unique is it takes us out of where we are and it allows us to stop and then to see things, to be taken further, to be aware that we are part of something bigger, but also that we are unique. A conversation about wonder starts with us. And just to look at your fingerprint and realise it's totally unique. To recognise all the sinews and muscles and skin and blood vessels and bones that make up just me being able to wiggle my hands around in the way that I do. All of the different nerve synapses and messages from the brain that are coming down into my hands to make my fingers move. Those kind of thoughts can just stop us in our tracks if we allow them to, and sometimes the problem is we don't have the time to do that. Everything is just rushing on. And I don't have the time to stop. So I want to encourage you to have some time to stop today. Doing this outside and I can hear bees and there's birds flying around and there are plants growing. I can hear people's voices from around my neighbourhood. And life is living this morning, and that's a good thing. And there's wonder and beauty in that. So think about your environment where you are. And if you've got a window to look through, take time to observe. If you're outside, take in your surroundings. But even if you're in your room, take time to see things, to be aware of things. Neil Armstrong said this, the first guy to step on the moon: "Mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis for man's desire to understand." Sometimes we are overwhelmed by this. How does this work? Mystery of things around us. It's the why that kids ask. And it's sad that when we grow, we sometimes lose that sense of why. Maybe dive back into that a little bit today and this week. Ask yourself why questions. How does that work? Why? Allow yourself some time with the mystery of wonder. I mentioned there's some bees buzzing around me. There are 16,000 types of bees worldwide. Did you know that? 353 different types of wild bee or horsefly in Britain alone. That then population has dropped by a quarter. It's one of the reasons that it's in the news and people talk about it. But a third of the human food supply depends on pollination, and bees do much of the work for that. There's even a thing called flower constancy that I was reading about this week, which is that pollinators will often go to the same types of plant within a pollination kind of journey, which increases the likelihood of pollination. These little creatures that take part in the transfer of pollen from a male part of a plant to a female part literally keep us going. They're also unique and beautiful little things. There's a wonder in discovering, asking why. So I want to just take us on a little exercise and do 3 things to help us uncover a little bit of wonder right now. We're going to use some of our senses. And the first thing I'd like you to do is just listen. You may need to pause the video or take your headphones out, or do this later if you want to, or maybe you can hear this as you're watching this, but listen to what's around you. Take in all the sounds. And allow your imagination to begin to imagine what those sounds are like you're listening to the radio and something's being described and there's a picture emerging in your mind. Listen to all these sounds and imagine what's happening. And allow yourself to go on a bit of a journey of listening and wondering. Just give you some time to do that. Then I want to ask you to see things. Look around you. Look out your window. See what you can see and observe. And try and spot something you've not noticed before. Try and take something in that's different, or that strikes your attention. It doesn't have to be natural, it can be man-made. It doesn't have to be organic, it can be industrial, it can be whatever strikes you, but allow your imagination to be captivated by something you see. And then the last idea is to use touch. Find something you can feel with your hands. Maybe it's you, your skin. I just think skin is an incredible thing. I'm older, so it feels like my skin has aged with me as I've got older. Take time to maybe feel a food or a plant or a pine cone or a piece of wood or something, maybe something industrial, a brick, and allow again that sense to uncover things. It feels different. There's this great little meditation online about how to mindfully eat a raisin. Google it if you want to, it's fun. But it encourages you to take in the texture and look at this one little raisin. Sight, hearing and touch are three things that can unlock wonder, and I encourage you to maybe explore that a little bit during your week. There's a great poet called William Blake, who was wonderful right in the late 19th century. He was wonderful at seeing things, had a spiritual kind of eye. And in Auguries of Innocence he wrote this: to see the world in a grain of sand and a flower, and heaven in a wild flower, to hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. These little things, the bee, our skin, birds, plants, the stars, they speak to us of something much bigger. And that can make us feel small, sometimes a good thing, but also it can make us feel quite special and unique. We've always struggled as human beings to value ourselves, I think. It's not easy. There are some people who are good at it, maybe sometimes too good at it. But most of us, I think, doubt and question and wonder whether we're very special at all, because we see the insides of our heads and our private lives, and we know that we're flawed. We're not complete. And yet within the scope of this wonderful sense of the world in a grain of sand, heaven in a wildflower, we can see that we're also part of something quite sensational and beautiful and wonderful. The current lockdown has maybe made you appreciate things that you've taken for granted. I think the fundamental one for me is people. I like people. And people are incredible. So allow yourself to be part of this wonder journey as we finish. I'm going to read the William Blake poem, those 4 lines again. And then just going to leave some space for you to reflect on this theme. Allow yourself to be taken into something bigger. And that amplifies and speaks of the wonder of you as well as the wonder of the world around us. So this is Auguries of Innocence. To see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wild flower, Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. To see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. Practice wonder this week. Be aware and see and listen to and touch those things that evoke a sense of awe and wonder and beauty, and allow them to fill you, to lift you up, to enable you to flourish, to encourage you that you are part of this and that you are wonderful too. I hope you have a great week. I hope you're well and that you're safe. Take care of yourself and those around you, and we'll see you again really soon. Take care. Bye bye.